Yes, dignitaries and friends. I think time is short for making a presentation, but I think I can just confine myself to a few comments upon what is the chief area of focus now, that is solid waste management. I'm happy most of what has happened through this past 10 years have been covered by the others from different walks of life and different branches of knowledge. Now this war is based which we are waging is everybody's business. It's not just the government business or the local body's business. It's each and everyone's business, and that's why we are gathered over here. We are such a diverse gathering here. We have got representatives from the local body, the administration, the civil services, of course, and other NGOs, individual philanthropists, corporates, so forth and so forth. Now, why is it everybody got a business? One thing, this is a non-exclusive service. You cannot deny this service to one person who doesn't pay. Or, it's non-rival. For a person who pays less, we can't say, okay, we will serve you this. Another thought, this is an essential service. If what can say that unattended to will cause a hell of a lot of public health problems. Now, coming to partnerships, we are speaking quite a lot about partnerships. What is the partnership? And whenever we see partnership, one thing which brings to mind of everyone is something like that outsourcing or board or whatever. But again, these are for-profit partnerships. The aims of the government and the private sector are dying this. The aim of private sector is to make money, of course I don't take them. Because that's the bread and butter, that's the business. And the aim of the government is to save as much as you can. Now this is where the non-profit like us steps in. This is where we stepped in, especially in something like a difficult district, a heavy district, where services outsourced may not be very remunerative and at times may have no takers. And of course, they are resistant to users' charges. There's a tendency to dumping all this. And we as non-profits, we have a lot of flexibility. Government works by a set of rigid rules, which of course are necessary. But a non-profit like us can bend the rules a little. And this is very much helpful at times of crisis. Just like the COVID crisis where we had, before the government could formulate rules, the private non-profit sector which came to the rescue. And after that, the government built in a solid foundation. So that is a sort of a private-public partnership which is being practiced over here. As the Commissioner correctly pointed out, the collection and transportation of segregated waste falls on it's their responsibility, and the disposal of the same is ours. And I would really like to congratulate the municipality for bringing in, of recent times, the segregation has become quite high. Now we are getting 85% segregated waste on a daily basis. I'm not just saying this to please anybody, but doing it on a daily basis, and daily basis in the website, updated in our website. We're getting 85% of segregated waste as against 55% when we started this venture. Thank you, great thank you to all the people. Municipal staff and the commissioner who heads the department. The other one thing now, how did we get about this disposal part? Of course, the municipality brought in the waste, we disposed it. Of course, it was purely by trial and error. As for the UN data, recommendations and World Bank guidelines for developing countries, they just say, okay, you just landfill it, that's the cheapest option. Suppose you want to do resource recovery, then your expenses have to be subvented by the government. So how did we get? Well, landfilling is totally unacceptable over here. One thing, we don't have the space. Two, emissions. We say we are a carbon neutral district. We're trying to bring it, document it as a low carbon neutral district. But we landfill, of course, there will be some generation of methane, and you will carbon neutral, and utility is going to take it on. Third, this district and the associated chain of mountains are the sole sources of water for the place. All the rivers originate over here. Landfills, if there is leaching, production, will contaminate these water sources. And the last, most important, landfilling alters the ground. The ground becomes unstable. And of course, we speak quite a lot about mudslide over here. So landfilling is out. So how to make resource recovery profitable or at least sustainable? For this, we just innovated and did something, and trial and error. We do one thing for dry waste is value addition. As Mrs. Kar was rightly saying, take a lot of streams. Instead of just taking one stream, waiting for the buyer to come and take it and resort it again. We divided it into plenty of streams. For example, just take a water bottle. Remove the cap, that becomes a separate stream which is a higher price. The bottle alone becomes another stream. Rejects. Why do we put them as rejects? Or rejects you out of a landfill. We try and convert it into fuel which can be used in cement factories. Something which we can send away by compacting. And through these sort of experiments and other things, we have sort of managed, of course, with quite a lot of funding from Mrs. Rajshri, Mrs. Kar, and Ms. Rohini Nandan, managed to sort of evolve methodologies which can in the future become sustainable. So we are just sort of have two methodologies right now. One is compacting all the rejects as a combustible fraction, which can be sent to cement factories or to what you can say AFR plants, where it is uses fuel. Second is burning other parts of combustible fraction in situ and transporting all the low value plastics for pyrolysis, where we can extract oil. Now the economics involved, we still incur a loss of around 2 lakhs in both processes. Because as for transport of fuel, it is sent at least for 500 kilometers. For pyrolysis, they pay for the transport, but our handling cost becomes higher. The machinery addition cost becomes higher. So it's equally minus 2 lakhs per month for whatever loads we are handling right now. In terms of carbon footprint, both seem to be the same. Generation footprint doesn't develop much. So we are right now doing a combination of methodologies whereby we send one load for pyrolysis, which pays us some money, and 3 loads to the cement factories, which is a drain on our resources, where we lose money. We are trying to work out a methodology whereby we will be sending 3 loads for oil extraction and at least 1 load to the cement factories. For that, I think we need some more capital expenditure of around 20 lakhs or so to put in a new incinerator and of course install some semi-automation and other things like that. So our labor cost is reduced. Another option is coverage through EPR. Unfortunately, the government of India has fixed EPR as 1,000 rupees per ton to 4,000 rupees per ton of the waste transported to the cement factories. Now, more cost of handling the waste, I mean, separating it, compacting it, transporting it, also to 5,000 rupees per ton. 5,000 rupees per ton. So, at least if I get a 4,000 rupees per ton EPR, that is not going to help much. So, we have to, on the long run, we plan to depend on pyrolysis and less on the cement factories. Okay. the service replication, expansion, of course, it's possible. It's possible. Though it may not be this model work out 100% would be, at least 70% it will work out. Our success in achieving zero waste is through innovation, adapting ourselves to local conditions. That is the 30%. 70% is whatever technical know-how which we give. But local people over there have to decide the rest of the 30%. That is why there is a lot of need for transfer of knowledge, forming a more partnership with sister organizations, and of course, training people to take up this job, imparting skills and other things. We have already started this expansion process in an informal way. We are not tied up, actually, we are helping Wellington manage the waste. Recently, we set out some 5 tons of plastic waste which had been accumulated over there. For rural areas, we have one organization working over there in Muscovy. There we have set we have also advising them. And of course, some 2 tons has now been sent out to the cement factories. Maybe a small drop in the ocean. We have sent around 2,000 tons to the cement factories, but anyway, it's a start. And for rural, we are working something like zonal clusters where waste from other areas are screened, whatever can be disposed locally, disposed of, and the rest brought to a common treatment facility, like on the model of which we have running in Coonoor and proceeding on along the same lines. And now I would like to extend my thanks to the cooperation of all of you. Without your support, I think whatever our efforts have been wouldn't have come. Now, before I finish, I would like to just quote a few words of one of the greatest presidents of the United States. Of course, there were not much of United States presidents, but there were 4 exceptions. 2 are giants: Lincoln and Abraham in Washington. Other 2 are more down to earth. One was FDR, of course, FDR was totally political. The man after my own heart was Theodore Roosevelt, a multifaceted personality, soldier, conservationist, one of the earliest conservationists. I would like to read a few words from one of his words. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best, in the end, knows the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Now, all those gathered over here are doing their own parts in the arena. And I say unto you, it's not the critic who knows the price of everything, but does not know the value of anything who counts. It is you who have supported us throughout the year who count. Thank you very much for this. I think.